Welcome again to our session of channeling. We have a beautiful question tonight, which is about why do things go bad once they seem or they look like they're getting better? So we're going to ask our angels and guides what might be some advice around that question. If we haven't met before, I'm Chamundai. Long ago, I was a stressed out lawyer, always been on a spiritual path, and found my way to practice laughter yoga, found some really beautiful spiritual teachers, including some spiritual masters and gurus in India, where I visit frequently and take retreats. And having also learned to really connect with the guides and the higher beings and energies, it's been just fun and lovely to share what they might be telling us, and they bring through a frequency of a higher vibrational energy. And often the message, it can be less about the words that are coming through when I channel and more about the experience or the feeling of the energy or the frequency, which has within it a message for us as well. And so all you need to do is receive. And if there's any other questions come in, I will ask those as well. And while we're getting ready, we were simply doing some breathing. So if you're watching this later, you might like to take a minute just to gently close your eyes if you're somewhere where you can do that. And just focus on your breathing. And just breathing into the count of 3, holding for 1, and breathing out to your count of 6. And repeating that breath. And then we're just going to breathe all of our energy in. Imagine that your energy has been out, wandering around, connecting with other people. Imagine you can breathe it in as if your energy field is like a balloon around you. And in case your energy's been out in other places, just ask it to come back inside that aura, that balloon that is your energy field, like a light globe. And just imagine you're breathing it in and pulling it back to you, your energy, your sovereignty, your power. Just breathing it all in. And then just resting inside the body, really being aware of the feet on the floor. If you're sitting, just the chair beneath you. And being aware of the breath down in the lower part of the belly below the navel. And just breathing in and out in that area of the body, letting yourself rest inside the body. And then breathing down into the earth, imagine you can connect in with the golden energy in Mother Earth. Imagine the earth beneath us is gold. And we're just going to breathe it up from the earth, all the way up through the body and out through the top of the head. We're just creating a column of light. Imagine that your breath can go all the way up through the universe to the highest point. Create a source energy and then breathing in again from above. All the way down through the body and deep into the earth. And then taking a moment to rest in your heart area, which is the true wise part of self, connected to our soul and our higher self. Just resting in your heart. And taking a moment to let the breath move in and out through the heart as you take a moment to repeat to yourself some things that you're grateful for. Just practice some appreciation. Anything at all that you're thankful for or grateful for. And then I'm just going to connect in with the beings. It feels like there's Archangel Michael wanting to answer that question. I'm just going to take a moment just to connect. And I feel like they're ready to share with us some wisdom around that beautiful question about why do things go bad when they look like, once they look like they're getting better. We are here. We are the spiritual warrior angel energies tonight. We are Archangel Michael and other great beings who are overseeing the energy here on earth at this time of great transition. And we send much love to all of the human beings who are in this transition. And we understand that it is a very difficult time on your earth, and that there are many, many of you who feel the suffering of things that, as you say, are going bad, even when it appears they are going better. And we can only say that the way to understand this is to realize that there are many windows and doorways into a situation. Imagine that something is happening inside a house and that you are on the outside of that house and you are looking in through the ground floor window and you can see some people eating dinner quite calmly. And then you move upstairs and you look through the window on the next floor and you notice there are two people fighting. And yet the people downstairs cannot see or hear that which is going on upstairs. Then you move up again and you look in down through the roof where you can see the fighting people and also those who are eating dinner. And this gives you what you would call a different perspective or a different view on what is happening. And this is the case that is tricky for humans, that you experience a situation and in your mind you decide it is a bad situation. And this could be an injury or an accident or losing something or harm that might happen. And yet, were you able to see this from a higher perspective or dimension, you would realize that all things in life for humans that appear as obstacles are simply lessons. And we understand in the human experience, this can be quite an annoying thing to hear. And you may say that this is not the truth and there's nothing to learn here. But we would invite you to look back on your life at situations which may have, in your words, gone bad, and check, is there something that you have learned later from these situations? Did you gather some strength or some courage or some resilience? Did you learn a new skill? Did you learn patience? Did you learn more compassion? If you feel you have learned nothing from things that have gone bad in life, then we would invite you to look more deeply and sit deeply in meditation. Pray to your soul and the higher beings and ask them to show you what is the lesson that your soul has been trying to learn. for five different people could experience something. And if we were to take an example, let's say that somebody has a injury, and for one person they would say, this is terrible, this is a bad thing to happen, I have this injury, I can't walk around, I've hurt my foot. And for someone else, they would say, oh, I've hurt my foot, I get to rest and have time off work, and people are looking after me and bringing me food and helping me around, and this is great, and I'm getting to rest and spend time reading my favorite books. And someone else might say, well, I get to feel like this is a terrible thing and people need to feel sorry for me. And so there are many, many different ways of experiencing this one event. And it is true, there is a story which is coming to mind that has been told about a young man, and this was a legend in a spiritual tradition that was told as an example. And this man hurt his foot and was then unable to go to war when all the men were taken to war. And then he lost all his crops. But then what happened was his home and town was safe because those with crops had had theirs stolen. And so there were many different ways that these situations were looked at. And some would say, oh, this is terrible. And some else would say, oh, well, this is a blessing. If you hadn't broken your foot, you would have had to go to war and you may have been killed, as many were. So different ways of looking at situations bring forth a different outcome. And although in the human experience things seem to be perhaps going bad, in the higher dimensions of life, there is no such judgment of good or bad, right or wrong. There is simply an experience that is created in the frequency of the earth. And so many, for example, many events in nature, things that you might call an earthquake happens, and this, for those living in the area where they are impacted, would say this is bad and people lose their lives. And yet the earth itself is erupting for some cause or reason that you are unable to see. And so it is difficult to have a black and white judgment or a blanket statement that an event or a happening in one's life is either good or bad. Having said that, however, there are times in the human life where it seems like it is more smooth sailing, so to speak, and then there will be a disruption or a change in that plain sailing. And when things have been very calm and quiet for a long time, it is true there will be a disruption because the earth is still a place of free choice, free will, and it is also a land of polarity. So the energy is constantly moving back and forward, like electricity, the alternating currents. And so it is not possible for something to stay in peace or in harmony without the opposite. The sun cannot stay risen around the whole globe. It rises and sets as the earth is spinning around the sun. The moon phases change. It does not stay full all the time. And so there is this phase situation happening on earth, and there is the polarities that are playing out upon the earth. And so up must go down and down must go up, and right goes left and left goes right, and things that are right and going well will go wrong. The amount of time they stay like that depends upon the human's attitude and viewpoint of it. If it is possible to go into your heart and find gratitude for any part of the obstacle or the difficulty, and if you are able to engage support and friends and family to help you and to share the burden and to find something that you can appreciate and accept as the situation is unfolding, generally it will resolve itself more quickly. And yet there are still some obstacles and lessons that some humans need to learn more than others. And so each soul upon the earth, and there are billions of people, each with their own individual soul piece, although it is part of the one, each of these individual soul pieces comes with a blueprint and a lesson, one primary lesson, but many subsidiary lessons inside their soul blueprint. And so some may suffer difficulties in relationships and yet have plenty of wealth and abundance and family and friends. And some may have relationship issues, and some may have challenges with abundance, and some may have physical ill health, some may have good health and tricky relationships. And so everyone will have a different area that they are working on, and yet all of the areas come back to bringing forth the lessons for that soul and that human. And one of the best ways to help yourself to understand a bad situation is to spend some time in what you would call meditation or prayer, knowing that your guides, your personal angels and higher beings who are here to look after your soul are all around you. And although we are many interconnected and multidimensional, you have your own team who are helping you through your lessons, and yet all of the higher beings respect free will, and so will not help or communicate unless you ask us to. And so we would encourage you all to ask questions, call on your guardian angel who is always with you from before your birth. Call on your team, make sure that you are asking for those of the highest frequency, those who are working for the light only, as you want the highest frequency of support. And there are many lower beings who will try to magnify any suffering that you may be having. You can simply banish these through your thoughts and your intention. And the more you focus in your heart and focus on acceptance and love and compassion and understanding, it will be consistently more difficult for the lower, tricky kind of energies to disrupt your life, but still they will do their best, again, because the world and the earth is a land of polarity. So where there are positive energies, there will also be negative. And this is nothing to fear. It is simply a part of nature. The trees grow leaves and the leaves fall off and die and they grow new ones. And so this cycle of life, death and rebirth goes on and on. We believe it is a good moment to remind everyone that you have access to much help on the inner planes of the angels and spiritual masters and ascended masters who've walked the earth before you. And these great beings can help you in all areas of your life. You can call on your angels of relationships. You can call on your angels of health. Archangel Raphael brings forth great healing for those who call upon those energies. There are the masters of life, work, purpose, jobs, security, abundance, every area. You can call on divine help if you are looking for a new home or a new job. You can ask for the angels of divine employment. You can ask for angels of technology if you are struggling to work out something. Truly, the help is there as long as you are able to bring your mind into a quiet space through some breathing and connection. This will make the listening or receiving the message much more easy, and some will receive it as an impulse to act. It will be an inner feeling, like a knowing. Some will hear their intuition as a voice inside. Some will see an external signal. Some will find that a person, another human, will suddenly give them some advice that is helpful. And so the angels and the higher beings work in multiple ways in order to communicate with you. They will leave signs. They will direct your attention to words or numbers or books. They're constantly working with you, but they will work with you far more deeply if you ask them for help in any area of your life. And so we would suggest that any time it seems as though things are getting worse and not better, that you sit quietly and ask your higher self to show you what it is that you need to learn. Your higher self is the part of you that is closest to your human form and connected into your hierarchy of spiritual support. And imagine above you is an interconnected web of energies of light and sound, and that they are coming forth connected to your physical form as well as other physical forms. Imagine it's like someone is calling you on the telephone. You want to have the right person talking to you. If you needed advice about cooking, you would not ring your car mechanic and ask him for a recipe. And the same goes for the angels and the higher beings and the ascended masters. They all have their own mastery. And if you're not sure, simply pray in your heart and ask for that high dimensional being, a being working for the light only, who can most help you with whatever the human situation is. And remember, if you were looking at the same situation through a different way, you may see it differently. If you were to tell your friend about it, they would perhaps give you some insight or advice. Another friend might tell you something different, because each person looks at a situation from a different way. And always come back to, what is it that I most need to learn? Remembering that the earth is a land of polarity. There will be up, there will be down, there will be forward, there will be back, there will be obstacles, there will be peace. It is also important, if you wish to help your life become more peaceful and more easy, that you raise the frequency of your energy field, as this will help you to draw to yourself more higher vibrational help more easily. One of the easiest and fastest ways for humans at this time to raise their frequency is to be in a beautiful place in nature, either by the ocean or under trees, by a lake, and ask the trees, go gently and quietly to them, and ask their energy to cleanse and clear your human energy field. And this they do quite naturally, and will be happy to do if you approach them with love and devotion and reverence. Even as you walk past the trees, you will be cleansed. You will be grounded and connected back into the earth. You can raise your frequency through your thinking process. So the more time you spend in gratitude, even if you have an obstacle, you will find some things you can be grateful for. And as you practice gratitude for those things, that will raise your frequency by opening your heart center. It is like tuning a piano or a guitar and playing different notes. It will resonate with the universe in a unique way, which will help to bring forth more solutions. And then there are times that it is necessary to get human support, whether this is for a human medical issue, whether it's for emotional healing, whether it's for direction and support and spiritual guidance. By tuning into your guides and the angels, you can feel into which action is going to bring forth the most healing and transformation for you. You can also learn the practice of muscle testing or kinesiology, allowing your body to give you its wisdom and tell you which action is going to be the highest and best one for you. These are all practices that are well taught within the human realm. We would encourage you also to connect with water, not only to drink plenty of pure filtered water, but also if you are near the ocean, to put your feet in the ocean, or even water in your home with essential oils or Epsom salts for your feet in order to soak and pull out any negative energies that could be accumulating in your physical system. It is a time where allowing the physical system to release any negativity will be very beneficial. We would also encourage you all to remember that whatever is happening, do your best to find some happiness and joy. Help and serve others as well as yourself as much as you are able to do, as helping and supporting others always brings forth a lightness in heart and a happiness and a joy. Find your creative outlets. What is it that you love to do, whether it's a small thing or a large thing? And allow time for fun and play as well as work and duties. We send you all much love and thank you for this question and for calling forth this conversation tonight. We ask you to find the inner strength, for the earth is going through a big transformation, and there is a little while to go before things get much, much, much better. Take heart, have courage. Remember to call upon all of us who are in the angelic realm. Call your masters, your teachers, all the great ones of the highest frequencies to help you, and watch for the signs. We send you much love, and we now say goodbye. Very good. Lovely. That's a pleasure. Thank you all for being here. And all the details, if anyone would like to get in touch with me, are below. So feel free to reach out. My next retreat in India at the Sacred Temple of Sri Puram is December. That's December of 2026. So you are welcome. Its details are on my website, which is my name, chamundai.com, chamundai.com. And anything else that you would like to reach out and ask questions, let me know. All the details are there below.